Oh, I gotta hit the. All right, y'all. What's going on? It's your boy, Old Man Logan, aka Logan the Great, aka Thousandaire Playboy. Old Man Logan in the building tonight. It's your boy next to me, KG, and this is Hot Take Wrestling. All right. Thank y'all for coming out and checking us out. We are back. We were gone last week, but we are here. It's been a lot in wrestling that's been taking place the last couple weeks, as well as we're marching towards Clash in Paris, I believe, for WWE, as well as, of course, SummerSlam that's going to be taking place in August. I'm not sure what's the next AEW pay per view to come, but we're going to do our due diligence here to recap some things. We'll start with the weekly recap. We're going to definitely touch on KG's Wrestlers of the Week, and we're going to talk about our thoughts about Saturday Night Main Event, Women's Evolution, WWE Evolution that took place, as well as AEW All In Texas. All right. So KG, before you say anything, amigo, let me get you together. Let me find you here. You can do these good old fashioned intros. So here we go.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
KG, talk to the people.
I just want to point out that I think Chelsea Green's beef with Nikki Bella stems from the fact that she tried to break up Brie Bella's marriage with Daniel Bryan. Remember when she was the personal trainer? She said Daniel Bryan was too handsy.
Mm, the plot thickens. Oh man,
Throwback to about
Nick,
10 years ago. More
definitely,
like
definitely. I did.
10 or 11, about 11 actually, give or take.
Yeah, time. It keeps on slipping
Of
into
course,
the
she wasn't
future.
Chelsea Green then, but I don't think she was Chelsea Green then. I think she was just literally
Yeah.
an extra that they pulled for that second.
Wait, was she was Chelsea on the Indies though, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that segment on Raw. Remember when he was shooting with the authority and she said that Daniel Bryan tried to take advantage of her during physical
Yeah, yeah,
therapy?
yeah. I remember. I
So
remember.
it's no different than Ciampa was the lawyer for Muhammad Hassan.
Many moons ago, Champa with hair too. Like he was definitely looking every bit of Italian that he is. So yeah, I definitely remember that. I definitely remember
Oh man.
that. All right, this week, man, we are definitely streaming on YouTube as well as Twitch as well as Instagram. There was some lag I noticed in the other episodes. There was something going on with my internet out here, man. But they've been doing construction and they broke some of my wiring, so my internet wasn't the best. So I apologize for that, people that may have checked this out in prior episodes, but we should be all good now. They came out, repaired everything last weekend, so here we are. But if there is somewhat of a lag on Instagram, that's what's possibly causing it, y'all. So apologies there. But outside of that, man, let me go and hit my own intro right quick.
It's Big Oos, Old Man Logan, acknowledging.
All right, I don't know where AEW is being filmed at tonight, but shout out to Swerve Strickland for his new shirt because his new shirt has the Chicago colors in it, and it's pretty dope. It says "Whose House" on it, I believe, and it's like the logo is a house, and it's in the Chicago colors. It's red, white, and blue, man, sky blue. So shout out to Swerve. I think you just got me, buddy, to buy my first AEW shirt. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe one of these broadcasts next time we live in a couple of weeks, the people will see me with that nice shirt. KG, I had this idea, man. I'm not gonna, ask the rest of y'all to do it, but I definitely have this thought because of all of the years of wrestling T-shirts that I have, and guys that are no longer with the company, like with WWE, for example, it may not even be wrestling anymore, or they may be wrestling elsewhere. Like I got a Ricochet shirt in the in my closet. That's obviously a WWE Ricochet shirt. I got a Braun Strowman in there, and I'm just kind of like, oh, you know what? I got a great Maharaja in there that hasn't been worn in a while. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna start every week. I'm gonna try to make sure I wear one of my WWE shirts, and the fans and the listeners can be like, hey, look, he got that shirt on, that shirt, this shirt, whatever, and just kind of try to follow the shirt journey.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting on my end too. Is I got a couple that were not released by WWE, but they were WWE based talent in a sense. Like I got the Bullet Club shirt, but it says Becky Club though.
Yeah,
With the with the Bullet Club logo, but it's like in
yeah.
Irish colors, so it's like it's like
Nice.
green and orange. So yeah, I would definitely go in my go in the laundry. There's a couple I don't have anymore. Either lost too much weight or they were just I think that's what it was. Cause I was like, man, I was like, I fit into this, but I still got a couple. Kenny Omega one was not AEWshop.com, but I got a pretty good Kenny Omega. I had a good Moxley shirt. Um, Fell asleep. Forgot to take the gum out of my mouth. Next thing I know, the shirt stuck to gum. So yeah, that's how that shirt went bye bye. It's not a cool story, but it was a dope shirt though.
Right. Okay, man. So without further ado, y'all, we are going to go ahead and get into our weekly recap. KG, are you ready, my friend?
So
All right, all right. I am trying to find the little thingamajiggy so we can get to it. Uno momento, uno momento. Look like every time I come on here, StreamYard has changed some things around and it makes things difficult for me. So it's like, okay, here we go. One second. One second.
And now, and now, your week in review.
Floor is yours, KG.
all right, so since we weren't able to record last week, we had All in Texas. For me, just a few highlights. Obviously, Hangman winning the world championship, but the Ghost of Moxley's past coming to fruition with Brian Danielson and Darby Allin coming back to interfere in that match. I thought it told a good story. Like it wasn't overly extreme with the goriness. Like there's obviously gonna be some color with the blood and everything like that. But I don't think there's too many spots where it's like, we said the spot with the spike bat or the with Adam Copeland and Edge is like what are you doing right now? Because you could have probably punctured something like that. It just was well told. It was selling. Um, I thought it was a great culmination of a storyline that somebody basically hit rock bottom in a sense and bounced all the way back because there was a deeper
Mhm.
dive into Heyman falling to rock bottom than the last time because the last time they were hinting at that when him and Omega were the tag team champions, but they kind of went down that path, but not quite because they teased the heel turn at some point with FTR and all that. They didn't
Mhm.
pull the trigger. They didn't pull the trigger 3 or 4 years ago. I thought Swerve and Ospreay versus Young Bucks pretty good match, probably match of the night arguably in terms of just fluidity and also one of those situations where we always say that the underselling of moves and things of that nature. I don't think that really happened during that match because a lot of times Young Buck matches, I think that's maybe you're nitpicking, but you see that a lot where it's like things are not being
Mhm.
sold correctly, where it's just you take a move and then it's like you just bounce back like nothing happened to you, like type thing. Where um, let's see what other recap I want to say about Mercedes and Tony Storm had a damn good match as well. I was wrong about that. I assumed that they were going to take the title out of Tony Storm, honestly, from a standpoint that there's nothing else she can really do with the championship, and it's almost getting to the
Mhm.
point where, I know that's still another ex WWE talent, Mercedes Moné, but I'm not saying Tony's still not killing it with their gimmick. It's just at some point I think they have to have something lined up after Tony, life after Tony type thing. That's just my opinion. I don't know, but it also made sense why Mercedes didn't win the championship too, because just what, and that should have been a red flag right there. The fact that she's the TBS champion And granted, they haven't done that with the women yet to have them be double champions with 2 AEW belts, because Mercedes Moné, all the belts she has are from other promotions outside of the TBS championship. So I guess that they've yet to venture into that water with the women being double champions since they only had the 2 championships, the TBS championship and the women's championship. So I thought obviously Rhea and going to Evolution, I thought Rhea and Io was definitely match of the night. Did not see that Naomi cash in coming at all. I think that
At all.
made sense to throw the swerve, so to speak, because of the fact that there's nothing wrong with predictability, but at the same time, if Jade is going to get the championship, it would lessen it to a degree by having her cash in like right away, which is probably what was going to happen anyway. So that kind of gives you like a back of your mind that, hey, okay, maybe they're about to invest in Jade and give her a legit push with that championship, because other than Nia, maybe you got to bring back Bianca as a heel. They didn't really tease it anything. They kind of just left it up in the air when she was the guest referee at Evolution, so they didn't really put any signs to plant any seeds that she was going to turn at all. But with that being said, I was trying to think, if you do put the championship on, or they do put the championship on Jay, where you go from there. I also got a chance to look at the triple threat with the Intercontinental Women's Championship. I thought, the three of them just have amazing chemistry, Becky, Bayley, and Lyra. So I was able to enjoy that match. Saturday night's main event. I was surprised Gunther got that good of a match out of Goldberg. I'm not going to lie to you, because that was one of Goldberg's longest matches, I think, if you time it in his career. I want to say, I think a match against Scott Steiner back in WCW was a no disqualification. I think that might have been officially his longest match in terms of length. We were just a singles match, because obviously he was Unified Elimination Chamber when he first came over from WCW. So obviously that match lasted more than 15 minutes. Those matches last close to 30 or whatever. But so for a singles match, I think that was his longest match of his career, was against Scott Steiner, and then the one against Gunther was the second longest. I don't necessarily expect anything to kind of blow my mind at main event usually anymore, because they're kind of just using that as a way to boost the product, so to speak. It's not really anything where you should expect 5-star match type thing. But coming out of there, obviously you had Seth Rollins' knee injury. That's the biggest talking point coming out of Saturday night's main event. I'm hearing it's possibly a work, and they're trying to put it back in the storyline. I'm hearing different, conflicting viewpoints of what's going on with his knee. Yeah, so, and that kind of is a telltale that something might legit be wrong with his knee, and trying to keep under the wraps from the standpoint that, Roman fighting the lackeys, even though one of the lackeys is the one to put him down, Braun Breaker was. That makes sense, obviously. They just announced that tag match with him and Jay versus Braun Bronze. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Going back to AEW, it's interesting how they keep going with the Statlander and Will Nightingale. They're kind of having them in that Ambrose and Rollins storyline where you could just automatically have them hop back into a feud, because I kind of thought they culminated that feud last year when they, at AEW All Out, and then they turned Statlander back babyface, and they didn't really give a rhyme or reason as to why they're trying to tease that she might go back heel again with the Death Riders. So maybe they're just throwing a loop at us, a wrench at us, so to speak, and maybe Willow's the one that turns this time. I don't know, because it's just not that they don't have great chemistry. It's just how they thought maybe it was more situations where I'm surprised they hop right back into it, and there's like no championship involved or anything like that. So it's kind of like, or maybe this is going to be done to set up, maybe it's going to be done to set up a women's championship, tag team championship. Maybe that's what they're doing that for. Who knows? Trying to have a hint at that they can't get along, but they're trying to make amends type thing, or they go back and forth with that. I saw earlier tonight he had Hangman basically getting revenge for Colt Cabana because he had Wheeler Yuta, by the dog collar, and had him, or the chain, should I say, had him about to throw him over the top rope and hang him, and he's basically showing him that, hey, the Death Riders don't have your back. I know I'm interested in seeing with this swerve and Okada feud leads too, because Okada is yet in AEW to be pinned cleanly, because I think the only person that pinned him in a singles match is Kyle Fletcher, and during that Continental Classic tournament, and with that he had hit him below the belt and then hit that brain burst on him. So like I said, Okada has not lost clean at all. And last time Swerve lost clean, I don't remember the last time Swerve lost clean. Probably without a gimmick being involved. It's been a while. Maybe Bobby Lashley, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which was last year. So I'm just thinking that's definitely an interesting few two guys over the last year who combined have only lost once or twice without outside interference or without weapons or something being involved or a multi-man match. So definitely looking forward to that from a standpoint too that it gives them something of substance to do with Swerve as a singles competitor. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
still thinking at some point they might try to put him back in the tag team picture, especially because they had him teaming with Osprey so often. So I don't know if Osprey's banged up or they want him to go do some stuff in Japan. Because I think that G1 Classic was over because that's when they do that yearly tournament in Japan where I forgot how many days. Yeah, that's over because Dick Wayne competed in that. So I don't know. He still could be going to do something back with one of his old promotions because, for example, we saw AJ pop up at the TNA pay per view. So guys from different promotions are going back to the old stomping ground. So it could be something like that they were doing Osprey because I don't know if he's legitimately injured or that was just a way to
Mm-hmm.
write him off so he could go do something else for the company that's not on television right now. They're hinting at that the Hurt Business might be done with MJF. I saw that little segment on IG earlier today. That they're getting frustrated with him. I never really understood the point of it in the first place. So there are some things, like I said, with continuity with AEW is kind of head scratching to follow.
Yeah.
Because in a sense, you would think MJF will be doing what Ricochet's doing if he's thinking he needs backup to get to the title. Like he said, Bobby and Shelton not gonna be his lackeys. MVP not gonna ride for that. So that's just interesting to see where they're going with that.
Right.
Uh, CM Punk versus Gunther at SummerSlam, very much anticipating because, like I would say, Punk has his feet back under him. It took him a little while, but ever since that, Hell in a Cell started with the Hell in a Cell match with Drew McIntyre last year. Punk's been consistently having damn good singles matches. It takes two to tango, as they always say, but I think he's more in his element now because, for one, during that AEW run, even when he was healthy, there was a lot of stuff going on backstage, but he was injured off and on. Because then their whole thing with the Bucks, he also was injured during that time. So I thought he just was written off TV because he was suspended, but it was both he was suspended and he was injured. So he had a couple injuries there. He's been able to stay healthy over the last year, almost about a year. His first match back last year was at SummerSlam. Know what Gunther's capable of, so I just thought that was interesting. He basically left Punk speechless, and maybe that's how they wanted that to come off for that first exchange between the two of them, because now they only got one episode of Monday Night Raw left before uh, Saturday's SummerSlam event, so it's next Saturday, I believe. So they only got one more episode of Raw prior to that. So definitely probably see Punk get his shots in verbally on this upcoming episode of Raw. I anticipate that's going to close night one. I would think so, and then Cena and Cody will close night two in that street fight. I just also find it a little strange. They basically changed the wording of it. They had two street fights for two championships. They normally don't do that. So I'm guessing they're gonna split those up because Lyra versus Becky's supposed to be in no disqualification, no rules. That's the same thing as the no holds barred or street fight, is it not? Whatever. It's neither here nor there. But so I think there's anything else I wanted to mention. I think that's about it. Obviously, like I said, yeah, I think that covers all I wanted. Unless you had something.
I did want to touch on some of the matches that you brought up, some of the things that took place. One of the first things I wanted to ask you. Now, we did have Saturday night main event. Seth was facing LA Knight in a match. I don't know if it's an actual injury or if this was just a gimmick work thing going on. I do think because we have Gunther versus Punk at SummerSlam taking place. This could be a ruse, a rouse, or however you say the word. And
Hmm.
it could be a way to say, hey, you know what? We're going to have Punk defeat Gunther, and it'll be bittersweet in terms of, you know, being champion because it'll only be for a hot cup of coffee because out comes Seth and Bronson Reed and Brian Breaker, and Seth cashing in on him and leaving SummerSlam with the championship once again. Um, I do think that's a possible scenario, but also at the same time, the way Seth kind of the Seth hasn't done much movie stuff. I know he took some time after what was it, WrestleMania 40 or 41 that was in Philly. He was filming for the Captain America Brave New World movie, but they cut all of his stuff out that he had in the movie. Um, but the facial that he had when he grabbed his knee on Saturday Night Main Event, it didn't look like he was BSing. Like it looked like some legit thing. Like it was some legit concern. Like, hold on, like I heard it pop or I felt it pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the finish to that match, they have him take LA Knight's finish 1, 2, 3, and then he immediately like goes back into the corner. He didn't like hop out of there fast and walk off. Like it was some precaution. It looked like, at least on his face, watching it. So I ask you, do you think what do you think the percentage is that could be just a work, or do you think this could be a legitimate injury? And also, before you answer that, because it's a two-parter, my thoughts were, okay, the next day we had WWE Women's Evolution. We get the cash in from Trinity, aka Naomi. And I wanted to ask, do you think that was a direct result if in fact the injury is legitimate? And they said, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead. We're going to do this cash in and we're going to have her do a successful one. And we just kind of changed the plans up a bit, because me personally, I, much like what you alluded to when you were talking about it, I was thinking Tiffany versus Jade Cargill at SummerSlam. She runs, interferes, and that costs Jade the title, or Jade wins it only for a cup of coffee, and boom, she comes in there, attacks her, and then cashes in and leaves with the championship. Which do you think is likely for both of those particular scenarios?
I don't think it was that serious. I don't think Seth would have took a finisher. I think they would have put the X up and moved on to the next match. So it could be a legit injury. I don't think that bore anything of an after effect on Naomi cashing. I think they just wanted to do something different because everybody expected it. So Seth could legitimately be injured, but I just don't think it's like a long-term thing. That's what I think. That's like maybe, and not a work, but so I'm afraid. So maybe it's probably like a strain or something, more than likely, and probably just taking precaution. Because honestly, they could do it. They could also throw a swerve because Seth has reason. They keep saying he keeps saying he's thinking ahead. He's talking about costing Punk a championship, but at some point he also has to focus on himself, right? Who was Cody's first feud? And who couldn't beat Cody, even with a torn pectoral muscle? Seth freaking Rollins. Who's to say he doesn't cash in if Cody wins? Because with the way they're doing it now, with the way they're doing it now, you could have had that stable appear on both shows. Because I said we talked about this the last episode. I don't need the top tier talent to be exclusive to one brand. Now, granted, I don't need to see them on both brands every week. But if you want to put Seth on Raw and SmackDown one week and then the next week he just pops up on SmackDown because he's their champion, I'm okay with that to a degree, because I feel like the champions, maybe they could be exclusive. I suppose the world champions, like we said, they could be, but they could also not be. I'm fine with it just having like a free for all. But I guess at that point, then what's the point in having two world championships? We've been saying that though.
Right.
I think they could have just utilized Intercontinental Championship as one brand's, or that second tier title, but that's neither here nor there. That's just my take on it. I don't, because like I said, I couldn't see them finishing that match with an actual finisher. Like they could have just did like a little roll up or something like that if it was something they thought was super serious with the way they finished that match, instead of actually taking a finisher, because you could have did more damage taking a finisher or something like that, because you could have slipped on the BFT attempt. So I don't know. I feel like they went just with a partial precaution or slash work.
Yeah, because and that was my thing. I was like, I was looking at even in how he took it, like when he took the BFT. LA Knight did it as cautiously as possible. It looked like it was one of those instances where it was like the ref was asking him, "Can you take the finish? Can you take the finish?" And he said, "Yeah," and he go
Right.
ahead to do it. That way, you kind of protect LA Knight. You make him go off looking strong. Um, finishing the match, and you go and you tend to Seth to see what's going on with that and see if it's an injury, a real one, or or just to continue the storyline angle and make it seem like,
Right.
oh, Seth's
Mm-hmm.
not injured. But I do like what she said there in relation to reigniting, reviving the feud between both Cody and Seth Rollins, because that was Cody's first major feud upon coming back to WWE. And those guys, they showed they had chemistry. They had some great matches, even with the
Right.
pec torn, like you said. That still ended up being a great match. And what better time, what better way to revisit the whole start from scratch, if you will, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of Cody scratching, clawing, fighting to get back to the top, than putting another person there that's a worthy adversary in the same vein and light as Roman Reigns was for him,
Right.
than a Seth freaking Rollins. Because we got to be honest here, bro. The Cena heel turn, yeah, we tried it. They tried it. The fans did not, but they're not behind it. Like,
It's
I
not clicking.
saw a fan reaction when he was leaving Friday, and he was looking around, and it's like, okay, they're getting ready to change him back, possibly. I mean, they didn't. They tried their best to make him, be on a little bit more edgy, heelish. He did heelish things. He was hitting people with the title to keep it, retain it, whatever. But the fans just never bought into it, and I don't know if that's because they never really like did what they do with other traditional heels, where they put people around them that got heat to garner more heat. Sure, they did the match with Logan Paul, but even in that match, they kind of had it looking like him and Logan Paul might be at each other, a little bit there, a little
Mm-hmm.
tension there between them two. So I'm like, could we be on the cusp of seeing maybe, babyface John Cena return? I'm thinking so. And what better way to do that than have Seth Rollins cash in on him, with Seth having Braun, I was finna say Strowman shit, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with him, and Paul Heyman, just to add a little bit more heat to it and cause an even bigger like ripple effect there. Because even it's like you say, the fans still cheer Seth Rollins. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what can Seth do at this point now that would allow him to like really return to form as far as being a full on heel? And
Well,
it would probably be to take down Cena and it cost Cody the title.
well, two things. I think I hinted at this before. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but with the Cena thing, uh, they messed up the heel turn by announcing prior to the heel turn. This was his last year.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, all right, well, let's give this man his flowers because you can't take anything for granted, especially with wrestling. You see so many deaths and so many just obscure things happening. Even especially with the wrestling business, like wrestling people like Jay Briscoe, who would have taken his daughter to wherever he was taking her. I think to just to practice or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. This man
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere, deceased.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt. I know it was a health condition, but I'm just saying one of those things. Is like, especially during the pandemic, I think that's another thing. I think fans just took wrestling and live being in person for granted type thing. It's like they still have an
Mm-hmm.
opinion, but I just think they're just more grateful for the wrestlers now. That's part of the problem. So of not being able to generate consistent heat because he definitely did that first promo after he turned and the promo after that. But then I just think, like I said, the announcement he was going to retire this year, and they know what he's meant for the business. As much as people thought it was cool to hate him, or some people legitimately did hate him, for all we know.
Yeah.
But some people also just doing it just to be cool, quote unquote, to just boo Cena. That was the thing to do. With Seth, I think they need to go back to his old theme song, like when he was with the Authority. That's one thing they can do because that wasn't. There's nothing you could really do with that song in terms of singing along or humming along, whatever you want to call it. They could go back to
Right.
that, or just hire somebody that knows what they're doing music wise, and maybe they are, being prepared to give him a new theme in general. Maybe not even the one he was using back when he was with the Authority. Um, or another possibility that we didn't throw out there. Maybe Highlander turns heel. We said that they're not going to do it with. Maybe they will. Maybe Coach. Maybe it's a double turn coming.
Maybe. Maybe.
Who knows? No, no. In that aspect, I don't know where you go if you do a double turn, or you could have Cody just turn heel, and that's how you get Seth to cash in. Maybe Cena retains again in the midst of the match. Cody gets frustrated because you know that some of this crowd it's about 50-50 for them. There's been some
Hmm.
crowds that were more leaning towards Cena. So maybe it's a double turn and Cody still loses and maybe Seth cashes in on Cena.
Yeah, no, those are some things that could definitely happen. We'll definitely catch it and see what happens next week, for sure.
Now with
Um,
now a couple wrestlers I thought made impact. Like I said, Tekla, I thought she's been a good signing. I know they paired up with Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Um,
mm,
but I thought she's been pretty impressive. I know they have her going on with that mini feud with Queen Aminata. Now I don't know if Jamie Hayter's injured or not because her debut she just clean clock laid her out. So I don't know if she's injured again or once again or is she going to do some stuff for other promotions and they just didn't want to follow up with that right away. So that was a little bit of a weird way, but maybe they just wanted to plant seeds that hey, by the way, when she comes back, this might be her first feud type thing.
hmm.
Braun Breaker, like I said, he lasted about 40 minutes in the gauntlet match, although he didn't win last week. So I thought that was a pretty good showing for him. It just shows that he can wrestle extended matches because a lot of his, not that he hasn't wrestled them before, but I think that's kind of wanted to showcase him as being multi versatile in terms of what he's able to do in that ring. So I think that was definitely a great showing for him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. One other show that had a PLE that weekend as well was TNA with their Slammiversary, and not really a controversial take on our end, but some things happened, and our boy Joe he made a post about it earlier. I want to reference this in particular. It's in reference to JC Jane, NXT Women's Champion, now also the Women's Champion, Knockouts Champion on TNA, after defeating Masha Slamovich at TNA Slammiversary. So they got the NXT World Women's Champion playing double duty on NXT and TNA, as well as NXT, talent, and Trick Williams being the TNA Heavyweight Champion, as he retained during his match he had with Mike Santana, I want to say it was, and Joe Hendry. So, what are your thoughts when it comes to that? As far as this partnership with WWE and TNA, where TNA seems to be at least currently getting the short end of the stick. My theory. I believe quietly TKO has acquired TNA, which is why we're seeing this agreement take place. We initially saw AEW and TNA having somewhat of a similar agreement, earlier during Kenny Omega's heavyweight championship run, where he also served as heavyweight champion over there when he was collecting belts, the belt collector gimmick he had going. Um, in terms of promotion, in terms of just overall appeal, do you feel like TNA has been taking a back seat to NXT in this particular, agreement that they have with WWE product, and appearing on WWE product, like them specifically being on NXT as opposed to seeing them maybe invade on Raw or SmackDown? does that knock it down a peg and kind of say, hey, TNA isn't necessarily on WWE's main roster league? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's one of those things where I think it's just going to take time to build up to that. Because, for example, I mean, I know it was a quick match, but Joe Hendry's been on them, making appearances on, the main roster, a couple appearances at PLEs. So I just
Mm-hmm.
think it's one of those times where they're just trying to get people to know who the hell these people are
Mm-hmm.
before they try to give them that opportunity to be on television. Um, but I think it's no different than when you would see that you go down people from the main roster. I think it's just to get more eyes on the product where you got some of the NXT people going over there and winning championships.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're either going to either merge them probably, or it's just going to be more so to get more eyes on TNA, like I said. And they'll eventually probably get those championships back on the TNA originals, quote unquote, or the people that were there prior to this partnership. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
mostly what they're doing. And there's some people benefiting who are getting a lot of time on NXT TV, like Jordan Gracie. So it's just one of those things where I think it's just going to take a little bit of time to build up to it because, for example, she was at the Rumble as well. So um, I think eventually we will see some TNA people pop in on the league programming. So it's going to be a work in progress. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Um, I agree. I definitely
I mean,
agree.
because like for example, you didn't really see the NXT people pop up on television until they were getting ready to get called up. So that's probably another thing they probably don't want to do too much exposure if these people aren't going to be fixtures on television
Mhm.
on Raw or SmackDown.
I'm mulling it over right now, man. Like I'm on TNA's website and I'm looking at their TNA Plus to get their content, just so we can kind of have these talking points a little bit more often because it's been some quality that's been going on there. I know we stick primarily to WWE, but just as a way to kind of diversify what we do here on Hot Take, as well as be more well rounded in terms of like the main feds that are out here for consumption in the US to be able to have the ability to talk about TNA in depth a little bit more. It's very appealing, but $160 a year, that part not so much. But so yeah, I'm gonna have to try to figure out a way we can maybe start watching TNA pay-per-views as well. I wish Victoria still had a restaurant here, man. I remember she used to show the pay-per-views at her restaurant, on Sundays and whenever it was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been perfect, man. It would have been perfect to still had something like that going. Um, but yeah, people. So that was the recap, weekly recap right there. KG, we do not have a segment breaker for the wrestlers of the week, but if you'd like, we could go ahead and jump right into that, and you can tell us who was your male wrestler of the week and your female wrestler of the week, whichever one you want to choose. You want to start with. The floor is yours.
Yeah, well, yeah. Other than I kind of touched on just like I said the Braun Breaker thing, him being able to go for 40 minutes in the ring and that, like almost kind of like an Iron Man thing. Like I said, Tekla, she had won a Fatal Four over two former TBS champions and Chris Statlander and Will Nightingale. So I thought those are two impactful things of people who are going to try to push in the future. We know Braun Breaker for sure. Tekla, they were going out of their way to kind of introduce who she was. She got a little spider crawling across the television. Don't adjust your set. That was intended. So they kind of basically positioned both of them to be future stars for both companies, especially in AEW because losing not just Blake Monroe, but losing Mariah May was a huge hit. So I think Tony Khan figured out he had to do something. So maybe that sign was
Yeah.
already in the works. But Brian Brecker, we knew he was going to be a fixture regardless. Especially the way he was pushed in NXT. Some people that doesn't translate right away, but I feel like it has translated for him for sure since he's been called up as far as the presentation of Brian Breaker and his impact he's had thus far in such a short time. They definitely positioned him now to be in that tag match against Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. So at SummerSlam. And I don't know which night it's going to be, but it's a pretty big spot for him, especially coming from last year when he won the Intercontinental Championship for the first time in his career when he defeated Sami Zayn, another former member of the Bloodline. But so yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where it's going to be full. You got to see what happens with those two.
Okay, okay. As you brought that matchup in particular, I guess we can make that a round table segment question.
Ooh, the round table's getting heated. Heated round table.
Um, so what I want to ask here, KG, and this is kind of off the cuff. I'm just literally thinking it as we are sitting here recording. Roman Reigns, Jey Uso seem to be tagging up, like you said, against Bronson Reed and Brian Breaker, which is totally going to be one of those placements in terms of this match for those guys where it's really going to put them in another stratosphere in terms of you know, main event status. Do you think at this point in time in the game for both Roman Reigns as well as Jey Uso, this is the this is a good spot for them to be in at SummerSlam, given the way everything, the lay of the land is currently. Like, was it a singles match there that you may have would have liked to seen for both of those guys, or is this the right space? And do you think maybe, just maybe, we may see a tag team run by this duo of Roman and Jay, or is Roman and Jay at this point in time maybe too big for the tag titles?
I don't think they're too big for the tag titles. Uh, we've seen people in the past be former world champions and become a tag team, like DX did that, and they got a
Mhm.
they got up and mid card push for the tag titles about 15, 16 years ago. For Roman, he had anybody he could face basically. There's going to be high places on the card. Jay, I don't really see anybody lined up since he's out of the World Championship picture, and the Intercontinental Championship picture is kind of crowded. Plus, he's kind of been there, done that within the last year because he kind of used that to catapult himself into the main event, not just as a nickname.
Mhm.
So I think this is like you said, the exposure gets to Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Is what matters to most of them. Win, lose, or draw. I mean, personally, I don't think they're going to go over. Roman's first match back since WrestleMania. So unless Seth somehow interferes in that match too, we keep throwing the name Seth out. Obviously, that's his stable. I don't see Roman and Jay
Mhm.
losing, but I think this is basically just the tip of the iceberg for the two of them with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. The whole point is to get that experience, and that even though Bronson Reed was on the new bloodline last year, so he has been in the main event spot. But this is more of a higher tier because he was kind of the fifth man type thing.
Right.
Granted, granted he made a huge impact when he joined Solo's team by Tsunami and Roman Reigns, so there was a kind of tie in there. But I don't see another spot, like I said, for Jay just based on the brand he's on, because obviously there's a built-in storyline there with Solo on SmackDown, but he's already feuding with Jacob Fatu, and that steel cage match. Um, Outside of Karrion Kross, who's playing, but he's kind of intertwined with Sammy right now. Since they look like
Mhm.
they're going to invest in pushing him, you could have him play mind games with Jay, but that's probably something down the line where it's like, hey, you know what? You peaked. Maybe you're better off staying in the tag team. We know you reached the mountaintop. You just showed you couldn't sustain, with the tag titles. You and your brother down there unstoppable. How long did you have the championship? 2 months
Right.
tops. Something like
Right.
that where he's playing mind games, but that's too early because he's still in time with Sammy. So currently, I didn't see anybody else Jay could have been feuding with on Raw to get that singles match just based on um, where everybody's at. Had you could have possibly there's just he's still intertwined with Sheamus right now. That's another option. I wouldn't say Rusev since they look
Mhm.
like they want, but I think right now that's yeah. So it's can't just drop that, you know what I mean, to go into giving Jay a singles match. So I don't think anybody else. I think it works out for both of them. Jay more
Mhm.
so than Roman, obviously. Because like I said, Roman was going to be good either way. But I think it's the right spot for Jay Uso for sure. Because I don't see anybody else right now. Where if he did, he'd probably end up poss- possibly on a second match of the night, which like they always say that's like one of the worst spots to be in because if the opener's a banger, then you got to follow that,
Mhm.
or people be ready to take a bathroom break if the first match is super long. So you're definitely
Right.
not going to
Right.
get that treatment of being Roman's tag team partner. They'll probably be towards the end of the card, which night I'm not sure, but it'll definitely be towards the end of the card. So
Mhm. As you were discussing and talking about that, yes, you're talking about, I got an idea, and I think it's quite a hot take. Um, and I'm thinking this might be a money surefire WWE WrestleMania Night One feud if it happens. And as you brought up the Karrion Cross thing, I thought, what if we have Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn with Sami as the heel?
I'm not mad at them. They might be leading towards that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but at the same time, like I just said last episode, I think Sammy spent most of his time on the main roster as a heel though. Because Sammy turned heel the end of 2017. He didn't turn babyface until 2 years ago. So they can
Mm-hmm.
definitely go back to revisiting that because that does give Jay a spot and it gives Sammy his. But they probably would do that. But they're doing a slow build. But I would think they could pull the trigger before WrestleMania. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be a WrestleMania match from a standpoint. He keeps saying his goal is to win a world championship. I suppose you could have Jay eliminate Sammy from the Rumble, and then Sammy just loses it and causes Jay to get eliminated, and then just does a beat down on Jay. So it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a possibility if they want to go that route. Um, my only thing is the problem is it doesn't really lead Sammy closer to his goal. And I'm not saying that the clock is ticking by any means. You look at wrestlers right now. Punk's
Yeah.
like he's in the best shape of his career. And Punk's older than Sammy. Punk's about 46. Like he's in the best shape of his life right now.
I would argue to say look for a better form and figure of Punk from yesteryear than where he is right now.
Yeah,
I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody to disagree when you say that
right.
statement.
And then Finn Balor is I think he's close to the age of Sammy, but it's like so we can't say one's career is just done. I think I think Sammy it would be better to see him climb the mountaintop of the babyface just because even though he's versatile, he's too likable of a character. I'm not saying
Mhm.
and then you get into that problem where the fans I guess they're gonna cheer regardless, but I just think they might have made more sense to keep to have Sammy if he does finally win a world championship, which I think he will because I think he has had too much personality. We always say some guys kind of got screwed over, not getting a push, yada yada yada. But I think Sammy's always stayed in that realm of conversation because Sammy's always been able to cut a captivating promo. So I think
Yeah.
that's the thing that distinguishes him between guys of yesteryear like a Cesaro or other people that never touched a championship. People were clamoring for like a Sheldon Benjamin or something like that. I think that's part of the thing that Sammy has worked with him for sure. The fact that he can articulate for himself, whether it be face or heel. Because some of those guys, there's some guys that can cut promos as a face or be able to have something intelligent or something captivating to say, even if it's not the greatest promo. But then it's just like as
Mhm.
a heel that it wouldn't work for them talking. They need somebody to talk for them type thing. So I think that's one thing Sammy has going with him. I think he doesn't need anyone to speak for him either way. So I think definitely see that possibility of Jey Uso down the line.
Yeah. Because hell, and as it's been announced, AEW World Championship next week, John Moxley versus Hangman Page. He's cashing in on his rematch clause. Um, Yeah, man, I'm just wondering if that's maybe something we'll see, because that is where you kind of draw the line as friends. You could have the match, and both of them be kind of baby faces going into it, and maybe have the goal of doing the double turn, so to speak, kind of like how Bret and Stone Cold did. It's been a long time since we've had something like that take place, and I feel like there's a couple of scenarios, couple of storylines there right now that could have such an outcome, and the Cody Cena thing is one of them. um, I know a lot of people have been, because they're gonna have a street fight. A lot of people have been thinking and been wanting Cody to have that quote unquote Homelander heel turn, if you will, just because he kind of looks like that character from the boys, just the blonde hair. But I think Sammy and Jay would be another instance of how you could get to such a change, and and seeing Sammy, like you said, Sammy has been healed by and large on the main roster for quite some time, but we haven't seen necessarily a Sammy. He's like a snarky heel. You know what I mean? I'm talking about a straight up just different caricature of himself. Just you know heel, like
Yeah,
no, none of the funny, fun loving, paper boy, none of that Sammy Uso, like all of that just out the window. Just a different version of himself, different variant of himself. Because you could do the same with Jay as well, because we got to see that when he was the right hand man. But I just was sitting here wondering, and I'm like, okay, with WWE and WrestleMania being proverbially around the corner, because it'll be here again for you know what, we're already getting ready to march into August of this year. So we got 4 more months in a year, pretty much after that, after SummerSlam. So it's kind of like, where do we go from here? Like you said, the mid card is stacked right now for the Intercontinental title as well as the U.S. title. So it's like, where do they and who do they position as contenders for the big dog championships? And me, why? And I'm a Roman stan. I love Roman. You know that, everybody knows that. But I'm just like, after holding the title for 4 years, do we really need him to return back and be champion again just that quick? Me, not so much. I'd love to see a guy like Sammy maybe get the opportunity to go and headline at WrestleMania if it's possible. You utilizing people that haven't been in this place per se before. And you do maybe a changing of the guard thing where they're facing somebody who has, and it's their turn to put this person over and get this person into another stratosphere. On the SmackDown side, I think Karrion Kross is another guy that's about due that kind of push as well. Braun Breaker is kind of like the anointed, um, guy that of the wrestler of the future, if you will. Um, Same as kind of Jacob Fatu is over there in SmackDown now. Like, Jacob's gotten over like big time. The only person that can get him out of that space right now is himself. But even before you get to Jacob, you got guys like LA Knight in the wings that have been waiting for their shot patiently, and they've had matches, but they haven't had the title yet. And LA
right.
Knight is one of those guys that are very, very deserving of it. You got guys like Shinsuke, who at one point in time was, white hot. You know, Vince did his best to, shatter that, but and did successfully, but he hasn't gotten back to that point that he was, at that height that he was, prior to being called up to the main roster.
Absolutely.
So, it's good problems they have in place. Um, Jade and Tiffany, another thing. Like, it's just kind of like, I know you said that. I meant to bring it up when we were talking about that earlier, but we just in thinking about SummerSlam. And now that Naomi's out of her way, it's like, okay, where could they go with that? And it's like, oh, you do got Nia right there. You do got Charlotte right there. You got Alexa Bliss. Like, you got a nice little lineup of people, but it's just like Jade's so physically imposing that it's just like, all right, Nia, yeah, that makes sense. Charlotte, that makes sense. But you get to the smaller women like an Alexa, you know, Jade's light years better than she was in AEW to me, but she still
Yeah,
hasn't gotten to that point yet where she's able to truly sell for a person, a woman of an Alexa stature or a Zelina. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
these women that are of smaller statures. So, like you said, you may end up having to turn a Bianca back heel to face her for that title to be another formidable opponent in terms of presentation. Not to say that Alexa isn't or that Zelina isn't. It's just when you saying apples to apples, like Jay is gonna be the bigger one of those
yeah.
every single time.
Well, one person you have, and you could also push Chelsea Green because she's still technically exclusive to SmackDown. Once again, they're utilizing these talents as they should on both brands. So with her
Mm-hmm.
having Piper Nevin and Alba Fire for support, because like what she lacks in terms of physical stature, she has a backup. Because she's not short, she just isn't. She just doesn't look cut type thing either.
Yeah.
I mean, not many of them do. So not to discredit Chelsea to say she doesn't work out. More in lines of she doesn't look physically imposing, even though she does. She does appear to be one of the taller women that are heels. Um,
Yeah.
and then you also could, since nobody needs rhyme or reason to switch brands, you could also, and so because she's a tag team champion, she is allowed up here on both brands. You could elevate Raquel into that title picture. No, I know we said we're not
That's-
crazy about a double champion or one having one title and then going after another, because then, but we've seen people pull double duty, and what they might do it too. With that being said, what they might do, what they could do that with Raquel, they could do a slow build to removing Liv from Judgment Day. They could do the Freebird rule where you could have two of them defend the title. So maybe Raquel one pay per view, maybe her and Liv defend the title, and maybe she decides to go
Mhm.
after Jade, and then maybe that pay per view, and maybe that's when they lose the titles. Maybe you have Liv and Roxanne defend the championships. So maybe you go to that Freebird rule
Yeah, that could make sense. That could definitely make sense.
where you're
But
listed as a champion like New Day was, but you can still go after a championship without, you know, without
yeah,
taking credit, without taking attention away from the tag titles.
right. But this is one of those instances where had they utilized this, like this young lady I'm getting ready to say right now, had they utilized her way better, it would have been so much more of a like, oh man, if they would have just kept this talent instead of releasing her. If they would have had an Indy Hartwell like current day, and they had been utilizing her, making her have an impact. I mean, they brought her up to the main roster. She lost a lot of momentum. I know she ended up getting injured, I believe, and that's when
Yeah,
they released her while she was injured. Zoe Starks is another person. She's injured right now. You can't do anything about that. But as we were just sitting there talking, like Indy has that height, she has that in-ring ability to make somebody look great in the ring, and she's formidable. And that would have been another person that you could have utilized in that place had you, you know, maybe not gotten rid of her, and kind of pushed her because she, the fans had got behind her. She was one of those that organically the fans were behind.
no,
Dakota's another
absolutely.
person, but I know Dakota was kind of injury prone too. I'm kind of off on a tangent with that, but I was just thinking because I know Indy's in TNA now, so it's just kind of like, okay, maybe we could see some cross branding, cross promotion there as well with some of these people that, while they are like superstars, they aren't like super mega dega stars. Where it's like, I don't know if you'd ever see Roman Reigns appear on TNA. If you did, then holy smokes, that would be such a shot of adrenaline in the arm for TNA.
Absolutely.
But I could definitely see a space where a building rising star like a Jade Cargill comes and does a segment on TNA and maybe has a match with the premier TNA talent, or a let me see who else I was thinking, or Bianca, having the Bianca come in and do a spell on TNA for a match or a segment or whatever, just some type of rivalry with one of their rising stars there, or Tasha Steeles or somebody, one of their vets.
All right.
It's just it would be good business. It would be good to promote. There was some things from NXT I did forget to mention earlier. when you were doing the recap. I just want to do this real quick. Let's see. Did you know Undertaker was there the other night,
I
Tuesday?
saw. Only reason I was notified of that is because I saw the Netflix version of Raw. So I heard
Hmm.
something some segment with Trick Williams.
Yeah. So it was basically a promo. Trick is pretty much a heel now, and he was healing it up, doing his best. Undertaker was there pretty much to promote the LFG that's been taking on, the show they got going on where it's basically the new, what's the show they used to have back in the day where they would,
That tough enough.
yeah, exactly. It's like a new Tough Enough. But he took a choke slam. They made Undertaker, go over, of course. It's Taker, but American Badass Taker. We definitely don't see the old school Taker no more. But he was there. Blake Monroe, she had her debut match against Ren Sinclair and she won. Let's see. Obafemi defeated Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura in a triple threat match for the NXT Championship. And what else? What else did we have here? All Ego Ethan Page debuted his newly designed NXT North American Championship with the Canada print on the belt strap. So he's healing it up over there for that. But yeah, man. So that was some of our NXT recap right there. I was trying to find something really quickly before we get ready to wrap up, brother. On SummerSlam and some of the potential matches that are set in stone at this particular moment in time. We already mentioned it. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Excuse me. That's going to be a street fight. Heavyweight championship is going to be Gunther versus Punk. Women's championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. We also mentioned that. Naomi's going to be facing, she's going to be a triple threat match. Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. All of the makings of a potential classic there. We're going to see if they can carry that, and do it again, basically, because they definitely had a classic at Mania with Bianca, Io, and Rhea. So
Right.
I want to see if they can do it with Naomi. What else do they have so far? Women Intercontinental Championship: Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria, excuse me. And then this is like the campy. Orton. I love you, man. You've been one of my favorites for a long time, but this is the popcorn match of the night, guys. This is when you go get your popcorn. Even though, just make sure you're there at the end, because I do think we're going to get a Orton heel turn and he's going to RKO Jelly Roll. I do think this is going to happen. But Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. That's that one. And then, so this might be this might be the full
I
lineup,
mean,
KG.
that is so far. We'll go over it next week, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's one of those situations where they just don't have. They're just kind of going to get more eyes on the set type
Mhm.
thing. As long as he's taking it serious, I'm fine with it. Like you said, it's nothing really too crazy we should expect out of it in the first place. As long as
Yeah.
Jelly Roll puts the effort in to look respectable, it is what it is. They're gonna have these matches. We already know this at some point. To cross promote to pop
Exactly.
culture. So
Exactly.
can't be too mad at it, especially because there ain't nobody else really. It'd be nice if they put somebody else in that position, but also right now everybody else got a lot going on SmackDown
Hmm.
because there would be nobody else to put in that position right now in the first place that comes to mind off the top of my head. Uh, Other than LA Knight, because they're not doing anything with him. So I suppose I kind of doing him dirty if he doesn't end up on the card and they found
Yeah.
a spot for Jelly Roll because you
Yeah.
definitely could have put Knight in that position. And then they definitely would. Then the Orton heel turn would have came out better too, though. That's not to say that we can't get that. You could do some segment where it's like Jelly Roll was taken out earlier. LA
Right.
Knight, we need
Right.
Orton needs an opponent, and it's not even. And then maybe they come up short, and maybe Orton turn heel then on LA Knight. Who knows? Still a
Yeah,
possibility.
because that could definitely happen. Because the only other two matches here they got listed on CBS Sports for SummerSlam is the women's tag team match, which is Raquel and Roxanne versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and the U.S. Championship match. Excuse me, Solo Sokoa and Jacob Fatu. So and that's gonna be a steel cage match. So yeah. But it looks like SummerSlam is looking like it's pretty loaded. The only other thing I can see being added there right now is AJ and Dominic Mysterio
No,
for the
they did
Intercontinental
officially. They
Championship.
officially added. Yeah, they officially added. That's why I check Wikipedia.
Okay.
Nothing. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I stopped checking because Wikipedia is normally up to date. I think sometimes those aren't up to date.
Yeah.
The
So I
rest
was
of the
thinking.
card, that's the only one you missed was AJ and Dominic. Yeah, they announced that on Monday though. So I don't know
Okay.
why.
Okay.
I don't know why they don't have it updated. That was 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
That's weird. But I know
And
it's official.
that's
I
when
know
they
it's
also
official
had
because they
the
showed the graphic.
mm-hmm.
So they showed the
Yeah.
graphics on Raw. So that's why I knew that was official. Otherwise, I don't know. We didn't add it up.
Yeah. So all
Because
right.
Roman and Jay versus Braun, and Braun was just announced today, so it makes sense that some site didn't have that up. But yeah,
Right.
the AJ and Dom was announced like right before Raw even went out the air.
So yeah, those are the only two missing there. So from that card right there. So but like you said, we got next week to see if they add anything else. I mean, it is a 2 night event. So we'll see what else they could possibly add to that mixture. But they got pretty much everything defended there. Um, the men tag titles aren't defended there.
Yeah, they have them. They have them both on the upcoming episodes. Wyatt Six is supposed to face Andrade and Ray Phoenix on SmackDown this week, I believe, so in 2 days, and then Monday, I believe,
Mhm.
Judgment Day is facing LWO, which I'm fine with because we saw that what happened after WrestleMania 41 because that's a match of the year candidate, that TLC match with the
Yeah.
Profits versus Machine Guns versus DIY. Like
Yeah.
I outside of Io, Rhea, and Bianca, and then Sammy versus KO, that unsanctioned match. That was probably like the 3 best matches of the year. Because I'm saying they wouldn't got that much time at WrestleMania, that triple threat, that TLC.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's definitely worthy
That
of
was
match of the year
well, that was
candidate.
well for the people that, like I said, I know a lot of the wrestlers care to a degree about the Wrestling Observer, but that was the first. That TLC match was the first match in Raw or SmackDown to ever get 5 stars.
Oh yeah, I remember from your boy, right? Old Melts.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there's some that got should have got 5 stars, like Triple H when he tore his quad, versus not just because he tore his quad, but that was a barn burner. They say it was like Benoit and Jericho versus Austin and Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other ones. I thought that Cena and Punk match was probably arguably better when Cena did the Hurricane Rana when they were trying to fight out who's gonna face The Rock. I thought that could have got 5 stars personally. But,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't have anything else there, my friend. Was it anything else wrestling wise or anything wise you wanted to, discuss before we close this part on out? I know
nah,
Wiseman was supposed to be coming on here. I may have to restart the live afterward, but I think I can go ahead and close this one now just so it's done. And I
absolutely.
could probably just do some editing, the magic of editing, and add him in later. Uh,
Nah, for sure.
yeah. Well, people, I'm gonna go ahead and let me add this right here. Bang. So that is our social media information. So you all can always follow us on TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling, at Instagram Hot Take Wrestling, on the artist formerly known as Twitter or X Wrestling Take. Twitch, you can find us at Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. And on YouTube, as always, we are on NMG TV. All right, all right. So, people, we'll be back next week for sure. We're going to do our official picks for SummerSlam, and hopefully, everybody will be in tow for that one. We're going to try to do some things. We do have Hot Take After Dark returning very, very soon. Wise Man, aka No Chill with Phil, We got a new co-host forum with that. That will start to be available as well on the YouTube channel as part of the Hot Take Wrestling's playlist. So it won't just be a Instagram only thing anymore. We're gonna go full into it being just a secondary piece of content for Hot Take and have it also available readily on YouTube as well as the audio. Now, speaking of that, I do have to do some editing and I have to do some audio editing as well. So the audio versions of these episodes, these past episodes that have not been available, they will be available by the end of this weekend. So apologies for that. If anybody has been looking for our audio, life had been lifing. I just had been distracted and I hadn't had a chance to really hone in and get a lot of this stuff done on the technical side of it, the editing side of it. So that's on me. I own it, and we're gonna do better. I promise you all, we are going to do better. So until then, like I said, I may sign back on with the Wise Man. If not, you all, you know where to find us. You know where we are. I want to thank y'all for always tuning in, checking us out. We do have some things cooking. KG, man, we got to go to another pay-per-view or wrestling event or something, man. We haven't been to one in years now at this point. So it's time for us to, it's time to check into that, man. But until then, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end this on out. Y'all stay breezy. I am Old Man Logan. That's KG. And we are Hot Take Wrestling. All right, people, and just like that, I'm back, and look who pops up as I literally started doing the outro for the podcast. So hold on, my good brother. I am going to give you your due diligence and your intro. Uno momento.
And now, your wise man, No Chill with Phil. Hashtag MM99.
All right, wise man, the floor is going to be yours.
What's up, y'all? You already know who it is. Phil Myers Sr., a.k.a. Can't Knock the Great with No Chill with Phil, the practicing polygamist, the voice of violence, Eminem, the minister of madness and mayhem. Medium meat. What's happening? You
get in trouble.
Okay, can I finish?
I'll do it.
Okay, you do it.
Yeah. My Miles, and was my brother, and was my dad, and was my mom. You're gonna do, and you are. That was really dangerous. And then a dino got me beer. So in the bed, you're dad, red, come on.
You done? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
He just cut a promo right quick.
He meant that shit. He said something was dangerous and some other shit. Bro, my bad, bro. My bad. You're ending it? You're ending it?
So I ended it. I told the good people, I said, hey, look, I said, Wise Man's supposed to join me. I said, I may start it over. I said, and we would be able to do and get your thoughts on everything. But I literally just ended. KG just got off, and I told them, I said, hey, I'll jump back on. But literally, I hit the outro music, and I saw the boop, and I said, okay, here we go. I said, so I'll just let this we back at it. So
well, shit, what I missed, bro? What I missed?
So we did our weekly recap. We did some talk about WWE Evolution. We did talk about Saturday Night Main Event. We did some talk about AEW All In. Just kind of recap, touched on that kind of stuff. So what we can do here, we can get your thoughts, bro. If there's anything from those particular PLEs that took place that you wanted to, speak your piece on as far as what's taking place.
Well, let's get the easy shit out the way. AEW, bro, I'm not here for the product. I'm sorry. It's not. Shout out to Joe, brother Joe Freeline. Joe said before that a lot of us watch AEW with WWE lenses. That is a fair point. It's a very fair point. Honestly, I'm just not a fan of the product. It's not that I'm hating. It's a little over the top in some aspects. But then it's like, this is some cornball shit. You know what I compare AEW to now? You remember when we were shorties? Because we 80s babies. You remember when we were shorties and WCW came on TBS on a Saturday afternoon?
Night?
No, not even the Saturday night stuff. Remember it came on Saturday afternoon. Like,
I actually forgot it came on in the afternoon. You right?
Yeah, it's just like it's the product just ain't good, man. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. They could do a whole hell of a lot more with what they got. Some of the shit is, let's be overly violent. Yeah, and it's like it don't do nothing for me. It just don't. It don't do nothing for me. The best thing AEW got right now is the Hurt Syndicate and Willow Nightingale. Sue me. I said it. There's that. Moving on to WWE. Saturday Night Main Event. They could have kept the Goldberg match. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
They could have kept it. The thing of it is too. Yeah, cap it. Okay, thank you. With the Goldberg match, the one thing that I didn't appreciate, whether you like Goldberg, hate him, whatever, whether you think he contributed to the business or not, Goldberg was Goldberg. Can't take that away from him. For his retirement speech thing after the match for him to only be given 30 seconds, that's whack. That was whack.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or not, like Goldberg left his stamp on professional wrestling. You cannot take that away from him. But 30 seconds, that was kind of a slap in the face.
I'm sure my hero enjoyed that he only got 30 seconds, though. I'm sure Bret Hart was happy with that.
As Bret Hart would say, fuck Bill Goldberg. But no, peep the shirt, bro.
I did. I was going to tell you to give him a nice visual of the shirt.
Yeah. Y'all see that? My couch pulls out. I don't. Just putting that out there.
ASAP.
Yeah. It's no question. It just, hey, baby gravy. Literally. Lasagna soup.
Let me ask you, the Seth Rollins injury angle. Do you think this is just at an angle? Do you think this is real? Or do you
No, he's hurt. I really think he's hurt. If you watch that match, you kind of see that knee give way. It's certain stuff you just can't fake. You can't fake that. And then even with how it wasn't even the initial, because then he did like the springboard thing off the second rope. He tweaked it before that. He tweaked it right before that. You can even see when he landed and then went to the corner. You can hear him say, "Let's go home."
Yeah.
You hear him say that. No, that's not a work. That's not a work.
That's what I was telling KG, man. I told him as we discussed it earlier. I said the look on his face. I said now he's done some acting, but I'm like, as far as I know, Seth's not that good to evoke that look of grim that he had. You know what I'm saying when that took place to be like, oh, it was a look like, oh damn, what happened? Like I felt something pop. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things where I was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is happening. This is interesting. Shout out to Mrs. JoJo. What's up, JoJo? She said, let's get it over with. Interesting.
Yeah, bro, I don't think it was a work, man. I'm gonna just be honest with you. The way that that tweet, that was bad. That was a bad tweet, bro. That was a really bad tweet. I don't know what else to say. Now, this past Monday.
Hold on, wait. Before you go to that, if this is in fact a injury, this is a legit injury, and he'll be out maybe for the remainder of the year, maybe even miss WrestleMania. What does that mean exactly for the briefcase at that point? Do we just move it on to maybe Braun or Bronson Reed, or do we need to do a Money in the Bank all over again for the men's briefcase? What do you think?
I think it sets up for dissension within the group, with their group. You can clearly see that Braun is the next big push. Then when Seth gets back, he goes at Braun. A lot of comeback. It's a comeback story. Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Right now, what do? I like the setup. Even it was funny how with Seth Rollins out, with Paul Heyman saying to Roman Reigns, with Seth Rollins out, there's room for leadership, and you want it? Like, I thought that was funny as for whatever reason. That shit tickled me. It tickled the shit out of me. I thought it was funny as hell. But it sets up for future storylines with Seth and Bronson Reed, Seth and Braun Breaker, a feud with even him and Paul, because the one thing that we know about professional wrestling, you can't stand still. You can't.
Right.
You cannot stand still. Oh, you're injured. Damn, get well soon, but we still got to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, I think it moves to Braun Breaker. I think they'll do like a rebidding for it, or call Seth and Seth, I'm gonna give it to Braun Breaker. They'll do something because they're gonna have to do something with it.
Right.
They're gonna have to. And this is the same knee that Seth has messed up before. This is the same knee, bro. It's the same knee. So, what do you do?
Yeah, because like I said, that face he made, bro, it was one of those things where it's just kind of like, like he was like, oh shit, what's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a look of concern instantly, like immediately. And when he did that, I was just sitting there. I was like, okay, what? And then they did the quick finish. They still wanted to make. What are you doing, brother? What are you?
That's not me, bro. That's you.
That is not. But it was the quick finish. Make LA Knight have look strong. He gets the W. And you go from there. But my thing was, for me, I was like, okay, I kind of feel like it's a 50-50 with they still trying to see what's going on exactly, because I'm thinking it's kind of a thing with Seth where he's pulling the Derrick Rose, if you will, because remember, Derrick Rose didn't want to come back, you know what I'm saying, to play until he knew he was like as close to 100% as possible. before he would go and you know go back and play basketball full time. So I think it's something similar
Yes,
with
baby.
Steph right there.
Well, truthfully, bro, he only got about a good year. When you think about those knee rehabs, because he's got to go through surgery.
Hmm.
He's got to heal from the surgery,
Hmm.
rehab from the surgery. You can't rush that. You can't.
Right.
Rushing it, you'll end up in a worse position than what you're already in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
don't rush it and put your pop pop pop, bro. What you doing, bro?
Just leave it right there, brother. Leave it right there.
I'm not doing nothing, bro. My hands is right here. Come here. Come here. So yeah, bro. We'll see what they do. I'm enjoying the ride.
Hmm.
They haven't disappointed me yet with the ride. Let's.
You have to say Papa because
What do you,
skeleton on face.
Miles? What do you think about Roman Reigns' return? Yeah.
Well, for me, I knew he had to pop up for SummerSlam. I knew it was one of those things where it was just kind of like, all right, it's about time for Roman to come here. I was asking KG as well, and I'm gonna ask you in a second with the match that has been announced. Him and Jey Uso now are gonna face Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. I was asking him, did he feel like this was one of those matches and this was like the right place for these guys to be on the card, or do you think maybe there was a match that they could have had, a singles match they could have had there instead, in place of this tag team match? But I do think it's a good thing because now we get to a place where they can propel Bronson and Braun Breaker and possibly get them over if they are able to defeat two former world heavyweight champions.
I think it's a good position to bring Roman back into the fold of things because he's been out. It's a good opportunity to get him back in. It's also good momentum for everybody. We all know Jay is beyond over right now. Jay is beyond over. I'd even dare to say he's more over than Cody.
A case could be made for sure.
No, we're seeing things with Jay that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of, what was that, the gauntlet match week before last, when Jay came out, he came through, hit, and they ran his music again mid-match. If I'm not mistaken, I've never seen that done in the history of WWE.
As far as I know, I'm there with you. I've never seen nothing like that.
I've never seen that done. This is out the stratosphere, surpassing Daniel Bryan type stuff that we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So truthfully, Jay is damn near in a category all his own to scratch and claw his way back up to the top and championship sites, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even seeing Roman come back and doing a yeet, which speaks volumes, Roman, in a sense, kind of, dare I even say, passing the torch a little bit to Cuzzo. It's a great position for Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, not only with them being with Heyman, but now they're going up against, like you said, former champion class talent to showcase what they can do. It's a win-win for everybody. It's legit a win-win for everybody. If they go out there and really rock that shit, yeah, they got it. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Now, bro, can I change up just a little bit, man, and shout out Naomi?
Sure.
Bro, Naomi killing this shit right now, bro. Naomi is killing this shit right now. Bro, honestly, she is such a good heel. She is such a good heel right now. Like, I'm loving this as she is the antagonizer, and I don't know what you just said. You know, like, yo, like, she really in her bag with this shit, bro. She really in her bag with this shit. Like, I'm really enjoying Naomi right now as champ. I'm enjoying her. Excuse me. I'm enjoying that shit talk. I am so enjoying that. You know what I'm saying? She is just, she got it, bro. She got it. I think this title run will be a whole lot different than other title runs, especially with her being the heel. But dude, like, she got it, bro. She absolutely has it. Like, she is killing. She killing.
I 100% agree, man. What she's done so far has just put her in a different space as champion already than what we've seen her do before, and what we've seen the other women do before, as champion. You know, her bringing that different type of flavor that's still kind of erratic, but you know, still bringing it all together, kind of jokery. You know, she's still doing the whole caution thing, but you know, it's in her own way, and it seems like more of her, like who she is, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's making it appealing already. Like her cashing in, her being champion right now, immediately I bought into that because
Yeah.
it was different than the last time. You know, while I always supported her, I was never all about the feel the glow thing. Just kind of felt corny to me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it's just like it was always like, hey, it's Naomi. But now I can totally get behind this Naomi that we got now and what she's doing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The Feel the Glow was okay. You know, that was kid friendly. It was cute.
Very kid friendly.
It was cute, you know, but cute don't keep you as champ. Cute don't make you champ. You know.
Yeah.
I like this angle with Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. I definitely think they don't use Karrion Kross to his full potential. Let's just start there. But I like the angle with him and Sami because Sami Zayn is very much like the Chicago Cubs at one point in time. And with us being from Chicago, we all know what they call the Cubs, the lovable losers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not that Sami is trash. It's not like the Cubs are trash. It's just they never got their due for real, for real.
Mm-hmm.
With Sami, his Intercontinental run, it wasn't long.
Right.
When he was champ, it wasn't long. You know, like what a lot of people trying to make it out like, oh, they racist against Jay, and Jay only had the belt for X amount of days. They did the same thing to Sami. So, like, stop. Yeah, cut that shit out. I want to see a darker Zayn. I do. I want to see a darker Sami Zayn. I want to see a darker Sami Zayn because I want him to start winning championships.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start seeing him with gold. And not just for like a week or two. No, like, I want to see a nice little run with Sami Zayn. Hell, even if him and Karrion Kross came up with something, they became a faction, something. You know what I'm saying? Push them. Push them. Because they got the talent. Do something with it.
Yeah.
Do something with it.
People that were watching earlier gonna think we had talked about this in post because I totally told KG earlier that I wanted to see maybe, and I said this was a hot take. I said possibly Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania, and that kind of being a WrestleMania feud that they go into. But you have Sami as a heel, and like the Sammy heel we've had so far has been like snarky. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been like full on heel, like bad guy making the good guy bleed, just making the kids cry, like that version of a heel. Like, I would love to see Sammy in that space, just a different caricature of who he's been, because him getting to the World Heavyweight Championship picture, I feel like him doing it as a face is going to be very Mick Foley-ish, and it'll be a super transitional run.
Okay.
Because babyface Sammy, to me at least, I'm not saying everybody else, but to me at least, Sammy, when he's a babyface, it really gives me Mick Foley vibes. You know what I'm saying? Or babyface Mankind vibes versus, you know, him being possibly a heel. I'm like, I would like to see where he could go with that.
Yeah. I damn, dude, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you're right. You're right. It is very Mick Foley-ish. And nothing wrong with Mick Foley, but like when you think of Mick Foley, like his runs, his title reigns should have been a whole lot more than what they were. You know what I'm saying?
And they were always hot cup of coffee. Like, he was the guy losing the title on Monday Night Raw most of the time. You know what I'm saying? He would just have gotten it at the pay-per-view, and here we are. The next time we see him, he's having the rematch, and he's
2 weeks later,
You know what I'm saying? And I just get that vibe with him being the heavyweight champion, be it the WWE Heavyweight Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw. I'm just like, it's nothing against his talent. It's nothing. He's a hell of a wrestler, obviously. It's just
workhorse.
Yeah,
damn good workhorse.
You know, speaking of Karrion though, and I didn't say this earlier, but I was thinking it because we discussed NXT briefly. I would love to see Karrion versus Obafemi for the NXT Championship.
I could see that. I think Karrion's too big for NXT. I could see Karrion. Karrion was with TNA at one point in time, right?
I know he was at MLW. I do not know if he was in TNA. Let me check while you speaking. That way
I would much rather. Okay, here's the thing with Karrion Kross. Hell of a fighter. I mean, hell of a workhorse. Knows how to cut promo. Put him somewhere where he can dominate. We've seen this so many times before with WWE where they have amazing talent where they kind of squander it. You know? Now with WWE having more connections than ever before, put him somewhere. Put him in a TNA. And let him go crazy in TNA. Like, let TNA be like a breeding ground for him. Because you got TNA and NXT are kind of the same level. They're like junior high, right? Allow him to really get established and do something. Not none of this cryptic stuff, not blah, 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 blah. Let him go down there with what's her name, Scarlett? Let him go down there and like cook. Really let him get busy with some stuff. Then put him in the spotlight showcase where now he is fighting a Sami Zayn, a Damian Priest, a Drew McIntyre. Hell, dare I even say Jacob Fatu? He has the potential. But y'all ain't doing nothing with him.
Yeah.
You know, y'all ain't let him cook long enough to do anything with him. So it's kind of like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Well, yeah, no shit. Because y'all have all this talent that can be squandered by the wayside. Like Los Garza. About time they got a damn title. Even if it what's the branch that they merged with in Mexico?
Triple A Championship.
Triple A, yeah. Dude, hell. Not and please nobody take this the wrong way. Leave them down there and let them work. Let them dominate. I'm sure they have a show. Get that shit televised. Start promoting that shit through and through. Cause bro, look at the talent. Look at the talent. We have never seen real talent like this within the WWE. We have before, and then it was kind of like, well, wait, what happened to that person? Now, you got SmackDown, you got Raw, you got NXT, you got TNA, you got AAA. Yo, Evolve. Yo, go crazy with the shit. Go crazy with it, man. Pump and promote that shit. Start planting some of these people. Start planting some of this shit to really get them going. Build that storyline. And then from there, man, you know, he went over here, he dominated, and now here at WrestleMania, here he is. You know what I'm saying? Because most people be like, well, who the hell is he?
Yeah.
Your average fan will be like, oh, I know Jimmy, I know Jay, I know Jacob, I know Solo, I know Roman, I know this one, I know that one. I don't know who that is. And I think that's Logan Paul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, put them in positions to go to these other territories or brands, dominate, kick ass, make a name for themselves, build that brand up. Come back. You know what I'm saying? Say excuse me. Little stinky butt.
He did just let it ride.
Huh?
I said he did just let it ride. Everybody heard that on live streaming. So the fact check real quick,
they picked it up all the way over here.
Yeah. So Karrion Kross did in fact have a run. It was a brief run, only for a year in TNA. He was known as Killer Kross at that time, and they said he had a feud with Moose over there. He requested his release for the company in 2015. So from 2014 to 2015, he was on TNA wrestling. But and then he has the hair now too, and that's the other thing. It's like when he was on the tear, when WWE did push him in NXT, he was bald. So it's like people don't know this iteration of Karrion now, you know. And that what you said, it lends to something I said earlier with KG, where you had these talents that just were immensely over, and for whatever reason, it seemed like Vince just had it in his mind to destroy their pushes. Karrion was a guy that was a monster heel, monster over, getting crazy heat in NXT as champion. He got to the main roster, and we saw what happened with him. He ended up eventually getting released, him and Scarlett. They go have a run on MLW, and then Triple H brought him back as soon as Vince was gone. But still wasn't too much going on. They gave him a stable, didn't really do nothing with the stable.
Right, yeah.
And then that brings us back to current day, where it seems like maybe they're getting ready to try to do something with him again. But that's why I was saying maybe the Obafemi thing, because while he isn't really doing too much on main roster, I could see that kind of being like Oba's real first test as far as main roster. And, you know, even if he does go over Oba, it's like, okay, cool. As long as Oba has a good showing in the match, and it may be Oba getting called up and maybe Karrion going to do that, then you could do it that way. And that would also serve for what you said as far as maybe call him Killer Kross now. Karrion Kross maybe revisiting the TNA thing and then trying to go over and be double champion and hold both of those titles.
Why not?
You know, they got JC Jane doing it right now for NXT and TNA, so you know.
Yeah, why not?
It could definitely happen.
Even and I know y'all say I'm king hater on this one, but there's certain shit right now that I don't get in WWE, which is kind of trash. The Wyatt Six, why they got the belts, I don't know.
I mean, you know, but you don't. You know why they have it.
No, I don't.
you know why they
I don't. No, I don't. Enlighten me, because I don't know.
I feel like this is their way of trying to. Well, see, this is the problem I said earlier on when they said we're going to continue and do this whole Wyatt Six thing. You can't do it when the main ingredient is gone. You know what I'm saying? That's like Thanksgiving without no turkey. You know, why I applaud them for even trying to pull this off. It's no way to really pull this off without the turkey. It's not Thanksgiving dinner without that turkey. You know what I'm saying? Without that dressing. So it's like, you know,
Stuffing.
you know, the stuffing.
Not dressing. Stuffing.
Now, who eats stuffing? Like, we have dressing over here.
I want some stovetop stuffing.
You won't stove.
Bro,
But
it's stuffing.
I don't eat. We have dressing with our turkey. We don't have stovetop stuffing.
Stuffing.
But I digress. But you get what I'm saying here, though, bro. Like, it's hard to pull off that storyline and make that stable relevant when the biggest component of it is no longer here. You know, so
It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not. When they had
and
the
that's
chance.
and that's why, because the genius behind it is not there to
Not
push
even
and
that.
promote.
When they had the chance with Uncle Howdy, that was a nice setup. And what did they do? Nothing. 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 They had the opportunity and blew it. Blew it. You didn't even see the Wyatt Six for months.
They were off TV for a nice little bit, yeah.
And then they come back, and 2 weeks later they're champs. Bro, stop. Stop it. Bro, stop. Stop it. Stop. I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe that the Wyatt Six. No, bro. No. I don't know who to send the email to, but I'm upset about that. I'll get it.
Now, is it that you just upset that it's the Wyatt Six, or are you upset because the Street Profits were dethroned and lost the titles to them?
Both. I don't think the Street Profits had enough time to really get their shine. I don't think they had enough time to get their shine. I don't think that Did you hear that?
Yes.
What was that?
That was the applause that you pushed. You must have pushed one of the...
Bro, I'm not... Bro, my hands is right here.
Brother, I heard you. I saw you. I seen it.
Bro, my hands is right here, bro.
So, I have another question for you.
But wait, hold on. I don't think the Street Profits got their due with a run. I don't think they deserved a shot. I just don't. You see all the other DIY, Motor City Machine Guns,
Los Garza,
the Cats from NXT, little buddy with the mask, and the other dude.
What is it? Axiom.
You've seen them. We've seen them. And they come out of nowhere. Now they get a title shot after 2 weeks, but they hadn't been there. Yes, sir. What you want? Yeah, we've seen them. So now all of a sudden they get a title shot? Yes, sir. Huh? Tell them.
Money. Me.
Okay. Now, what was your question, bro? What question do you have?
Thoughts on the WWE Evolution pay-per-view, the all women's pay-per-view? Did you get a chance to
Fucking
watch
amazing. Fucking amazing. Absolutely. Hats off to the women. They killed it. The ladies killed it. Uh-oh, baby. You got it?
Yes.
They absolute bro. What is that noise?
You
What are
do
you
know I
doing,
hear you like clicking the button, right? Like you do know that's the
bro?
thing.
My hands are right here. My hands are right. What are you doing? What my? It's right here. Here, come here. Watch out before you hurt yourself. Women's evolution was absolutely amazing. The ladies killed it. They kicked ass. They definitely need to make that a regular pay per view. That shit needs to be in the rotation of pay per views and stuff. Um,
Completely agree. Completely agree.
and you know what else? You know what else? You know what else, bro? It was all women, everything except for the two announcers. I think for the next one, female announcers.
Now, if you do that, who's the two female announcers that you
It
go
don't
with?
even matter. It don't even matter.
Do you go with
If
like the formulaic like ex or retired champion ex talent?
whatever, whatever.
Yeah,
If it's an all female pay per view, it need to be an all female pay per view.
because I'm thinking off top, man. I'm thinking maybe Mickey James because she's great at talking when she like does her talking on podcasts and stuff. Um, Hell, you could definitely go to Trish route, and that just kind of pays homage to their feud and their time in the ring. You know what I mean? To
Mhm.
just kind of, go all female with it, or you could think of somebody else to pair. But I would definitely like to see Mickey possibly in that space.
Nikki Bella.
That could
Did you
work.
say Nikki or Mickey? I'm sorry.
No, Mickey James.
Oh. Yeah, bro. Honestly, whoever. I personally, if it's an all female pay per view with all female refs and everything else, it need to be all female announcers. That's it. Commentators, everything.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't talk about how dope that pay per view was. I can't talk about it enough. It was well put together. Everyone brought their A game. Hell, we've been saying this for years. The women been outshining the men for a minute. Hey, put that back. Put it back. You what? You want to play Mario? In a minute.
This the daddy part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all don't get when he
That's
ain't on here with
yours.
us.
This one's yours. Yeah. All right, my bad, bro. Yeah, dude, hands down, all around phenomenal show, bro. Evolution was absolutely amazing.
Do
Absolutely
you
amazing.
do you have a favorite match from the show, or obviously you enjoyed Naomi cashing in? That was a good spot, great moment for that. But the match, any other matches? Did
I
you?
like that Naomi and Jay got to go at it.
Mhm.
Like, they set it up for a long-standing feud. It's not over with. It's
Mhm.
not over with. But they definitely did a hell of a job with that. You okay? They did, they did a hell of a job with that. Um, I'd have to say that was my favorite. Um, yeah. Yes. Want to play video games? You get ready to go to bed in a little bit.
They say you want to play video games a little bit. And why you ain't tell me, man? Just off the topic of evolution, and before we get ready to round it up, you got 2K25, right? WWE 2K25.
Junior, I got it for PJ. Yeah.
You didn't play it yourself?
No.
Really? You're missing a great storyline that they got on there, dude. I downloaded it a couple weeks ago, and the story angle that they're doing on there is pretty interesting. It's something that I think they could actually do in real life if they did it for sure. But it involved CM Punk, it involved KO, and it involved Bailey as the faces of a new faction.
I could see that. That would be dope. Here's the thing with 2K, bro. I got out.
Oh,
This is a whole nerd in me.
Daddy,
This is the whole nerd in me in particular.
Daddy wanted me upstairs.
You want to go upstairs? Yeah.
What's that sound?
Hold on, bro. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on.
Yep. All right, so people, while he's going doing his daddy duties, right quick, there was a faction. I'm trying to find the name of the faction in the game where they have CM Punk as the face and the mind behind the faction. What is the name? I'm actually trying to Google as we're sitting here doing live before we get up off of here.
Well, here, bro. While you doing that, let me finish what I was saying. I
Go ahead.
fell out of love with WWE video games around PlayStation 2. Towards the end of PlayStation 2, start of PlayStation 3. I fell out of love with WWE video games because they got to a point where they were starting to make the shit too damn technical. You remember when with Fight Night, you remember Fight Night used to be amazing, but then they went to where it was just the sticks. Around that time, it was like, nah, bro, no. This is high punch, this is low punch, this is high kick, this is low kick, back is block. Like, bro, I'm basic old school video games. Don't get with all this shot, stick, and jab. No.
So you ain't
Leave
like
that
the
shit
analog
alone.
when they moved to analog.
Leave that shit alone, bro. I don't like that. So I fell out of love with that when it was, what was that on? I want to say it was PlayStation 3 with Shawn Michaels and Triple H on the cover. Yeah, I was like, I'm cool.
That
I-
had to be one of the Raw vs SmackDown titles because they once it got to the 4, that's when they started doing the years. 2K14, I think, was the very first one that they did when 2K bought it from when 2K bought THQ.
I can tell you which one it was now. All Stars was cool. Yeah, WWE All Stars was cool. Which one was I can't find it.
I'm thinking it had to be like one of the Raw versus SmackDowns, like 2008 or some shit like that. That was
Yeah, the
last
one
I bought.
2008 Raw vs SmackDown, that was with John Cena, Bobby Lashley, and Undertaker on the cover.
But
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm cool.
Yeah, in the MyRaz story though, in 2K25, it's called NXT Mutiny, and it's a pretty. It's like every angle now looks like NWO, whether it's the colors or whatever. Anytime there's some sort of invasion angle, that's the immediately first thing we think of NWO. But it's actually a pretty cool storyline, man. I'm early into it, but I was still very much impressed by it. They did something different with this particular year of I didn't buy 2K24, but I caught this one on sale. I saw it was 40% off, and I was just like, hey, you know what? I got a couple of bucks I can spare. I'm gonna go ahead and do this damn thing. And excuse me, I went ahead and bought it.
Yeah, I'm cool. I save my little coins. Now, changing it up just a little bit for our daily dose of nerddom before we get out of here. Anybody that thinks that James Gunn Superman movie is good, you're smoking crack.
I don't smoke crack, and I thought it was good.
Bro, that shit trash. Bro, that shit trash. Trash. Bro. He had beat up the entire movie. The opening clip of the movie starts with him running from Ultimate Man. You ran.
Now
Superman ran.
I'm gonna say this, like, for the good people, we 2 weeks past Superman being in box office, so at this point, it's spoiler alert. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just say what we got to say about the film at this point. Okay,
Trash. The movie starts with him running away from a fight. You're Superman, and you ran. Superman ran away. And not only did he run away, he fell away. Krypto saved his ass. How many? Krypto? Krypto. The dog.
The
The
dog.
dog from Homeward Bound. And I'm not even talking Michael J. Fox. I'm not. Bro, hold on. Homeward. Bro, Homeward Bound. Bro, hold on. Bro, Shadow. Bro, stop it. Shadow from Homeward Bound is what saved Superman the entire movie? Bro.
You ready for me to speak?
No. Bro, look at me, sir. Look at me. I need your attention. Shadow from Homeward Bound. Don Amachi's dog is what saved Superman?
Yep.
Bro, everybody like, man, Mr. Terrific saved the movie. Since when does a black man talking jive in 2025? I'm damn right, I'm Mr. Terrific. Because I'm terrific. Bro. You got Green Lantern looking like fucking Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. Jim Carrey's character. Bro. Stop it. That Superman movie was trash. But you know what? Hey. Go ahead, bro. I want to hear this shit.
Okay, so we gonna sit here and act like Bizarro didn't beat Superman every time Superman had to fight him. Bizarro was stronger than Superman, so we gonna sit here and act like
that wasn't even Bizarro, bro. That wasn't even Bizarro.
That was the makings of Bizarro, because Bizarro came from Superman's DNA. When he went into that black hole, that's what's going to distort him and make him all Bizarro looking. And he's going to come back as Bizarro. I guarantee you that. That's why he was Ultraman and not Bizarro yet. But we'll see that. I guarantee you we'll see that. Mr. Terrific was amazing. All right. For this to be a character. Now, did they have him talking like a 70s caricature or some of the Mac? Sure. I give you that. I will give you that. But that whole little montage when he got down there to Lex Luthor's beach set up. Okay. And look, take that Capricorn stuff down there. That whole little setup with the spears, man, it was dope. It was different. It was a different take. We're not used to see this, and this is the thing. I've been seeing a lot of reviews with this. We're not used to seeing Superman need help. The only time Superman legit needs help is when it's Darkseid, because Darkseid getting that ass. That's the only time. Pause. Superman getting.
Because he's Superman.
Well, not the only time, because Doomsday definitely gave him that work too. But
they're the only two.
They're the only two. So to see that, but again, like I said, Bizarro would come and would beat on Superman the same way, same manner. Superman would just eventually calm him down, and then he'd be cool. But Bizarro was that was always stronger than Superman. So that's what that was. Was it a different take of Superman? Absolutely. This is him, and this is his first steps, if you will. So he isn't the ultra confident Man of Steel that we're used to just yet. He hasn't got to that place yet. He's still, and now that's trash right there. The only good thing Zack Snyder did with his presentation was his casting of Henry Cavill. I was never 100% behind Gal Gadot, but I thought she did a good enough job of Wonder Woman. I actually wasn't mad at Ben Affleck as Batman. I definitely thought Ben Affleck was a good choice as Batman. You didn't? Or you making a face to Akil's?
No, I'm making a face to you, bro. I can't believe you saying this right now.
Zack Snyder is trash, bro. All of his movies are trash. We only give this guy the revere we give him because of 300. And if we really want to be honest, if you take away the visual,
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
If you take away the visual aspect of 300, that shit is mid. Mid. We've seen 300 can't even hold a candle to Troy, bro. Why are we playing? Why are
I'm sorry.
we playing?
What? Say that again. Hold on. I think I heard you say
300 does not hold a candle to Troy. Brad Pitt's Troy movie. Yes. Doesn't hold a candle to it at all. At all. We all like King Leonidas because this is Sparta and he was he was literally looked like he was made of stone. You know what I'm saying? And that kick, that infamous kick into the abyss for that Xerxes follower is why we all sit here and gawk at 300. 300 was trash, bro. I ain't know it wasn't trash. It was mid. Big mid. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I find a sound bite when it's a mid shit so I can hit mid. Y'all gonna quit doing that with Zack Snyder, bro. Y'all gotta quit doing that. It's trash. Zack Snyder is he never needs to pen a movie again, if I'm being honest. Do not ever put him behind no script, no story. Now, if you want to have him visually in charge of some things, hey, I'm all for it. I love his visuals. But he's very formulaic. You got to get that whole slow motion. You're going to get all that good stuff. But yeah, so don't rag on James Gunn. Does James Gunn do campy crap? Of course he does. This is why the Guardians of the Galaxy series is one of the most revered series in the entire MCU cinematic universe. Because, again, take that Capricorn. Look, we're going to do the Jack Nicholson thing. You remember Jack did this on Batman? We're going to – it's one of those things, man, where it's one of the most revered MCU cinematic film series because of his approach. It's campy. You can tell that dude's in the comic books. Who would have thought to put Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and a female Hawk girl that had maybe, 2-3 lines? Shout out to her, though. She's in Last of Us season 2 as well. She did a lot. We want to see what she does. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, man. And this is coming from somebody who wanted Henry Cavill to get that second chance as Superman. I really did. I went and made it my business to buy the Henry Cavill Superman for my DC EU collection that I have. And so even though I'm taking a trash on Zack Snyder, I have the figure, so I still supported it. It's just no, bro. The presentation of those films were not good. Akil, when Akil make a show, that's what I want you to do. Make a show. Me and Wiseman will come on there and we can talk all of the comic book crap you want to, amigo. And then we can do it. I'm here for it.
So, bro, wait. Hold on. Hold up.
And the show, but to show my fairness in what I'm saying, we're not gonna act like all of the Iron Man movies weren't mid, because those solo Iron Man films, especially 3, trash. We're gonna act like Whiplash was a formidable opponent for Iron Man, and we always saw Whiplash getting his ass handed to him in the cartoon or in the comic book. That was the best they could do for Iron Man 2. Then when we get to Mandarin, y'all want to make it a character of something that we never saw.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Now see, we getting off. No.
I'm getting off track. I know I got off track.
Yeah, we getting off track. Yes, bro. That's fine. You make a good argument. You make a good argument. Yes. Those were startups for DC. I'm sorry, for the MCU and things to come. Yes. Pivotal pieces. Slow setups. Yes. When you look at the entire weave of the MCU and go back, the second Thor, we was like, ah, that shit garbage, right? Then when you went back after Endgame and right before Endgame, when they had the setup of everything, remember all the movies and you watched them in order, it wasn't a bad movie. It was just a slow stepping stone to a greater piece. Would you at least hold on? Would you at least give me that? Would you at least give me that much?
I didn't think Thor 2 was bad. Now the first Thor was bad to me. I didn't really care for the
same. We all know Ragnarok was up here. We all know that one. The first Thor, the second one, Ragnarok, Love and Thunder. Like, Ragnarok up here, all the other ones down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a slow build, but it's a slow piece to a bigger story arc.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They're key components. So even when we went back and look at Endgame, and then he went to, what was it, Dark World to get the... to see his mom and get the redstone and all that. It makes for a bigger story. Okay? Mm-hmm. Not all of them are going to be home runs. Sometimes you just need a couple base hits. Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Fair? Okay. With that being said, Superman was none of that shit. That shit was trash. Trash. That shit was garbage. Dude, super shits? You got Superman being a super pussy. Bro, trash. Bro, he got saved. Superman got his ass beat the entire movie by, okay, fine. You want to call him Bizarro? Let's call him Bizarro. I give you that. Yes, Superman got his ass whooped by Bizarro. Superman got beat the fuck up by a non-character. He got beat up by the gremlin. The random gremlin that just ran around eating trash off Metropolis streets and blew up into a big fucking monster. Bro, Superman is garbage. That shit was trash. Motherfucking Crypto. The dog from Homeward Bound. The dog that also starred in Air Bud is what saved Superman? Superman? How the fuck is Superman? And he need help from a stinking ass dog.
Shout out to Crypto, man. Shout out to Crypto. Now that you talk about campy, that was totally planted and that was meant to be campy. And
let's be fucking real.
I ended up enjoying Crypto. I did. And I left the movie theater saying David Cornsweet is Superman. And it pained me to even sit there and enjoy it because, like I said, Henry Cavill was my Superman. I'm holding out hope that Henry Cavill comes back and does the Kingdom Come story arc if they do that as a movie. Because they
already got him as Wolverine for Doomsday. They already got him for Wolverine as Doomsday.
That's well, he can still be Superman because it's
no.
It's a multiverse Wolverine. It's a
greener pastures. Bro, we not gonna sit here. We are not gonna sit here. You wanna go? I'm gonna go back to Mr. Terrific. We are not gonna sit here and allow this black man in 2025 to sit and talk jive.
I gave
That's
you
okay.
That. I gave you that.
I'm Mr. Terrific.
I gave you that.
You damn right. Yeah. Give me a cognac and a 40. I'll take a cigar too. Dude. Indeed, bro, in the animated movies. In the animated movies, he wasn't even like that in the animated movies. Bro, stop it. Yes. Yeah, you're right. This should have been the Crypto movie. Yes, it should have been the Crypto movie. Yes. This should have been the movie that Kevin Hart and The Rock did. The Crypto movie. Yes. Absolutely. We not gonna act like Jim Carrey didn't have anything to do with this movie. It's fucking Green Lantern. Bro.
He said Jim Carrey.
Bro.
That bro,
Bro,
that is the character design in the comic books. What are we talking about here?
when have you ever seen Green Lantern with a goddamn
Guy
bowl cut?
Gardner, Guy Gardner has a bowl cut in the comics. What are we talking about here, bro? Google it.
Bro,
Google it. That's not Hal Jordan with that cut. That's Guy Gardner. Now, if
bro,
they said that was Hal Jordan with that cut, then yeah, y'all could be mad. But that's not Hal
Bro.
Jordan.
You hurting my feelings right now, bro. You hurting my feelings right now, bro.
You got fantastic.
This the Green Lantern we gonna honor.
Hey, that's what that's the comic book look of that Green
Look at
Lantern.
that shit.
You got to pull it back or something, man. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, pause.
Good pause. There you go. Now it was your light was hitting too much.
That's what we doing, bro.
That is that cut. That is that cut.
And that haircut saved Superman.
And Mr. Terrific and Hawk Girl. And don't forget Lois. Lois led the charge.
That's what saved Superman. Bro, can we take a moment to talk about how corny motherfucking DC is? Corny as hell. Element Man.
Mephisto.
That wasn't no goddamn Mephisto. Mephisto. Shout out to Mephisto, Sacha Baron Cohen on Ironheart. Yeah. Shout out to him.
No, that's
absolutely.
Mephisto.
Great fucking casting. Element Man.
Metamorpho.
Element Man.
Metamorpho is a fictional superhero character appearing in American comics published by DC Comics. That's his name. Now,
Element
this would be the kicker. Let me highlight what he just said, right? He's saying this prematurely. Now, if he gets this Batman Brave and the Bold wrong, then okay, I'll let y'all let it rock. I'll let you let it ride.
There's a new Batman movie coming out?
Yeah.
Why?
So this is going to be the DCU Batman. The Robert Pattinson Batman, James Gunn has said is from another universe. So he's not a part of this universe.
I'm sorry. So let me just get this straight because I want to make sure I'm in alignment with all of y'all. How many fucking Batmans do we need? Look, bro. See this?
I'm in agreement with you there because
so at one point in time,
Robert Pattinson.
So according to the Flash movie, we had Ben Affleck, trash Batman, good Bruce Wayne, trash Batman. Then we got one of the best Batman ever, George Clooney, to ever fucking do it. But then we also got Robert Pattinson in the same fucking time. Bro, so we got 3 random ass Batmans out there who is a glorified fucking ninja. Ninja.
Don't forget Michael Keaton. Because his
Batman. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you. We got geriatric Batman. So we got 4 fucking Batmans out there, and can't none of them do shit. They all just a bunch of glorified ninjas. And here's the fucked up part. You only see Batman beat up street level criminals. That's it. You might see him beat the shit out of Joker, but Joker likes that shit. Bro, Batman will beat the fuck out of a gang member and look. Batman will beat up street criminals, Joker, and Scarecrow. That's it. You don't see Batman beating the shit out of Bane, Killer Croc, what's my man? Jada Pinkett's character from Suicide Squad. You don't see him. Yeah.
Jada wasn't in Suicide Squad.
Yes, she was.
She wasn't. Her
yes, she was.
In there. Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke. Yeah, she played Deathstroke.
Wasn't it? Oh wow.
Yeah, Deathstroke. Bro, you don't see this. You don't see Batman beating up anybody but street criminals, Scarecrow, and Joker. That's it. He's a glorified fucking ninja. and they
lost
hang on
me.
his, huh?
You lost me at George Clooney being a great Batman. I will give you rest in peace, Val Kilmer. I'll give you Val Kilmer before I. Yeah, no.
Val Kilmer was a better Batman. George Clooney was a better Batman. Everybody else, trash.
George Clooney was a better Bruce. He wasn't a good Batman.
I give you that.
He was a better Bruce. I got why they cast him for the Bruce role, but
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But bro, motherfuckers hang on Batman's nuts. And Batman ain't shit. Batman ain't shit. Batman ain't shit. So Superman needs Batman? Bro, the shit was trash. The shit was trash. I'm disappointed. I'm upset about this.
well, hopefully
You don't
by
understand
then
the frustration that I'm dealing with on the inside because I'm upset about
hopefully
this.
you'll have some free time to go on Akil's new show, Ruthless Rants, from the Akil Motad Network, and talk some more S about Superman. But next week we'll have this Friday we got Fantastic Four coming out, and I'm just curious to see what you're going to say about that. If you got this kind of energy for,
Because it's Marvel. Marvel actually knows what the fuck they're doing. Look. I'm Clark Kent. I'm Superman. Clark Kent against Superman.
With the hypno glasses.
Superman, bro, that shit is stupid. It's stupid. That Superman movie is trash. Trash. And bro, I'm upset with everybody that thinks it's good. Like I'm offended, sir. I'm offended.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, brother.
Bro, so next you gonna sit and tell me TRL was better than 106 in Park.
now that you don't have to worry about, my good friend. I will never do that. We'll never do that. Akil, we actually on the same page here with this one, because I do think Galactus wins in this, and I do think the Fantastic Four from their universe is going to go over into the 616 because they're not in the 616. So yeah. What are you doing, bro? Your mic.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. I don't know what you did before, but yeah, I can hear you now.
Bro, my hands is right here.
Stop it, Phil.
Bro, what you talking? Bro, what you talking? This ain't 8 Mile. What is you talking about?
Listen, man. Listen. Tell the people when Hot Take After Die coming back, okay?
Wait, no. You're not gonna blow past this.
We getting ready to get out of here, okay? This is not. Now we can talk about doing. Well, he already came up with the show. We had to figure out the timeline for that, but the time for that. But look, we already have your lovely. Well, not that ain't your lovely co-host. We got your lovely new co-host. You need to tell the people about the situation, okay? Hot Take After Dark returning. All right. So let's go and bring it back. We're going to bring it all back to wrestling, and we're going to put a nice little bow on this episode.
Bro, okay, I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate what you're doing. I just got to say this. How you going to say Fantastic Four in 313? Like, bro, that don't even make sense, bro. This ain't 8 Mile, okay? They're not going to have a rap. They're not gonna have a rap battle against Galactus, bro. They not rap. They not fighting Papa Doc, bro. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? Like,
B Rabbit, or Papa
like,
Doc.
bro. Oh, so Reed Richards is B Rabbit and Galactus is Papa Doc. Like, what the fuck? Like,
it's Papa Doc.
I can't, bro. I can't with you, sir. I'm. You know what? I'm gonna let it go. Y'all see the lovely young lady in the comments. Ms. JoJo. I'm gonna let y'all now. I'm gonna have y'all go and let her work her mojo. Y'all say what's up to Miss JoJo. She is my lovely new co-host for Hot Take After Dark, which is coming real soon. Real soon. Hey, the way I'm feeling juice right now, I might even do it tonight. I might just. She likes to plan. And JoJo,
JoJo,
likes,
I am with you, girl. I'm glad
JoJo likes to plan and be organized, and I'm like, let's just do it.
Get him focused. Pause on. Let's just do it. Whoa there.
What happened?
Whoa.
What happened?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. Oh.
You talking that shit? We might just do that shit. Okay, we might just.
So
we
go
might
ahead.
just.
Gotta
We
wrap this up, bro.
Just who is James Ellsworth?
Huh?
Who is James Ellsworth?
He said you are trapped just like James Ellsworth. Look, talk about Hot Take, brother. We ain't
so Hot Take After Dark is coming. Let her work her mojo. Y'all say what's up to Miss JoJo. Phenomenal young lady. Amazing talent. A hell of a friend. She knows her shit. We gonna get to it. Like I was saying, she likes to plan and be organized and structured. And I'm like, let's just do the shit. Let's just do it. So she's sitting saying, I'm on the laptop right now. We can do it. I'm ready now. We might just pop out. So I'm a link with her, see what we gonna talk about, see what we gonna do, and you might see us back on this bitch in like 11 o'clock. What's happening? So y'all check out Miss JoJo. Make sure y'all follow her on any and all social media platforms. If we do get it popping tonight, she will definitely tell y'all where to go follow her, all that other good stuff. We got this. Hey, goddamn. What's up?
Yes, sir. We got. Hey, you know what? We need to get Miss JoJo to do some new drops for us too. While we at it, we can get some new drops.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Some of the new segments and all that good stuff. Once again, though, people, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all this. Bong. Follow us on all of these social media platforms: TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling, Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling. The artist formerly known as Twitter, or now known as X, Wrestling Take. We're on Twitch as well at Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. And as always on YouTube at NMG TV. Yeah, man, I want to thank y'all again. I'm glad the wise man came on. We got to talk a little bit longer and talk about some extra stuff here as we did. You guys definitely got about a good 30 to 40 minutes of nerd talk there. So enjoyed that. Wise man, maybe we'll do that. Are you going to see Fantastic Four this weekend, or are you going to wait? Yeah.
I'm gonna have to wait because I gotta work. I gotta work.
All right, so we'll hold off and have that conversation, but we could probably plan that out anyway. Just do, because, like I said, this was like 2 weeks after Superman, so yeah, we could do the talk after 2 weeks after Superman and just kind of go from there. And you know what I mean? We do
trash.
Get a review going. She say, "Oh, it's gonna be 12 her time," but she say she with it. So shout out to JoJo.
Okay, all right, we'll see. All right. Yeah, man. What else we got, bro?
Go ahead, bro. Just do you spiel, and I'm gonna put the outro on, and we up out.
All I gotta say is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Phil Myers Sr., aka Cat Knock the Great with no chill with Phil, the practicing polygamist, the voice of violence, Eminem, the minister of madness, the mayhem, medium meat. Follow me on any and all social media platforms. Bro, why you look concerned like that?
I just did that. That's all I did.
You look like, what the hell? Bro, we might just get on here and talk some shit tonight on Hot Take After Dark. We might just do that, y'all. Get it going, get it popping, get it cracking. Yeah, man. Good times, fun times, man. Like I said, we got a couple things coming up. Hot Take has a lot of big things coming up, man. Y'all can catch us on any and all social media platforms. We gonna get this thing rolling, baby. That's all I got, man.
All right, y'all. All right. Well, y'all know that's the wise man. I'm old man Logan. Thank y'all for listening, watching Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. We'll be back next Wednesday. And as always, his couch does not pull out.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I
His
say
couch-
my own shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
For my
I
couch,
need one of them shirts. I need one of them shirts.
ladies, please remember my couch pulls out. I don't.
It's
So
hot
if
to
you
be
want
like-
this Bisquick, if you want some Bisquick, I'm pouring in a pancake.
I'm Ron Burgundy.